Right, it's 2 o'clock, French business school time. In France, the class is supposed to start at 9 o'clock, of course, but students get together at the earliest to 9:20. Someone come 9:40. So school is very anxious about meeting quality standards, global standards. There's a student to come sharp 9 o'clock, but everybody is tired after, long days. So this is much better, actually. As I mentioned, this Grand Design by Japan program and this special seminar will be covered by global project management media called the pmforum.org. So just write down this address, and the release will be placed tonight. Let's have a look at how it looks like. This is the site of PM Forum, right? On the second column, there is zone for breaking news. So our news will appear here as of tonight, probably 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. Oh, that's Texas, a little bit later.
What is our news?
Huh? Artisanal, we're here. And KO is doing this.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Not about you. Huh?
Just the fact that we are having this
Yes.
session will be
And what is the mission of Grand Design by Japan? Right? Things like that. Introducing, promoting KO itself as well. KBS is #1 business school in Japan, things like that. Okay. Excuse me, my coarse voice. Throughout this afternoon, we're planning to have a look at key project management processes, starting with life cycle perspective, and then followed by scope management, that's trunk. And then management areas are parallel, like quality time, resources, cost, as well as foundation process, project formation, organization, and communication, as well as risk management. And at the end of the day, we talk about a little bit about issue management. Right? When we have some small accident, what should we do? Or something like that. First, let me take off my jacket. First thing is that consideration of life cycle, right? As a man has his or her life cycle, project has a life cycle as well. For instance, but us, we have infancy, time of grade school, senior high, junior high, senior high, so-called, people and student stage. And then we enter business, be a business person, government, public servant, say researcher, etc., etc. At the latest, when you enter business in this case is, work for fee, right? You think about what shall be my total life cycle. My value is now and will be this and that. And think about how to optimize my life from the life cycle view, or just get easy and do it as you like it at that time. Either way. So, Liu Yiping-san, what's your life cycle plan, for instance? Oh, this is fictional statement is okay. Good. 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 But some smart guys, even at home, may say, well, wait a moment. We're spending this money now, but from our marriage life overall, should this is this spending worthwhile or not? Right? That's kind of a total life cycle perspective view, total optimization from the life cycle is important. And this is very true of project and programs. And so first thing we do is grasp the total life cycle view of the project and optimize the performance project model from the life cycle perspectives. And in the project world, we have the technique called life cycle costing. And so, for instance, not IT is a little bit different. Manufacturing, right? You spend super excellent plants, but it costs a lot of maintenance, right, etc. And then you decide to spend 80% of what you want and enjoy reduced maintenance costs, yet can survive in the market. That's kind of a balancing is important. But always we do that kind of optimization within the given mission and constraints. If you do too much optimization, I mean saving, right? And then you lose the opportunity to attain grand design mission, it's nothing. Yes, do a very cheap buying and lost your money. A typical project life cycle is as shown in the bottom. Conception, planning, implementation, delivery, and completion. And if you look at the implementation stage, most of the time when we talk about project, you mean implementation stage of the project, right? But once again, this conception stage is the critical period that determines the value. I will explain this fact by using the chart. And this implementation stage is, this one, is usually consists of planning, for instance, design planning, engineering, resources procurement, and the site installation or delivery. Well, depending on the industry, this terminology of phases are different. But anyway, like this. And each phase, right, say conception, planning, implementation, delivery, is characterized by its own unique deliverables, like planning, conception. The deliverable may be feasibility study report, right? The deliverable of this class at the end of the day, that's delivery, will be your enhanced knowledge, increased knowledge, report, results of workshops that are aligned to your research work in each project. Okay? Would you take, how many? At least one person takes one A3 paper, and I think 3, each of you. This, we pass this one. This is for drill. You are free drill. I don't ask you to return it to me. Probably you have your own notebooks, it's okay, but just for writing, as writing pad. So, first exercise this afternoon is that imagine one of your projects and write. Japanese is okay. Write what consists of conception, what consists of planning, best planning, what are the elements of implementation, and what the deliverable. 2 items, 3 items, that's free drill, 5 minutes. Think about whatever project is okay. Having a baby is okay. Build my own home is okay. Say acquire PhD, doctorate study, or master. Imagine your project and write what comes under at least 4, 3 stages, plus if you can do what constitutes a delivery. That means the end products of that project. You can use your computer or paper or whatsoever. But participation, as I said, is very important.
Should we do this on a personal basis?
Yes, personal basis. No, just personal basis. Think about yourself, your family. Yeah. We're not talking about management. These are line items, execution. What tasks? All right? I need 2 persons who volunteer to tell me. Anybody? Have you finished or on the way? On the way? Okay, invite Suresh. Have you done anything? Huh?
It's a bit difficult for me, I think, to understand this.
No, you are advanced Medicare project.
I can understand the health side, but the management side is difficult.
No, I said told the line task items. Task comes first, and then talk about management. Okay, please continue when you have time, and then I proceed with my lecture. Okay, this is universal one, can apply to whatever project by modifying a little bit. For instance, design approach is whether you use computerized CAD design or drafting, manual drafting, system design, you buy or you do yourself or which way, things like that. So this is your homework, right? Now, there are 2 basic curves in the discussion of project life cycle. So this first one is called build-up curve. That is the amount of resources spent phase to phase. Okay? For instance, 15 person months here, and probably here the 25 persons months here, right? That's one. And this curve is called S curve. It's shaped like S, right? S curve. What is S curve? Anybody who studied, who are PMP? Buren-san, what is S curve? Huh? Project? No result. Progress. Project progress curve. Project progress, that is a translation of cumulated efforts translated into physical progress. Now, what is physical progress? There are 2 types of progress. One is nominal progress. Suppose you have a budget of 100 hours. You spent most of the people talk about the progress by dividing actual hours spent against the time. This is budget. So in this case, what's progress according to this nominal progress? 75 hours spent out of 100 hours budget. How many percent? 75, right? Very simple. are you secure about this number if you are, say, 75% progress of this work? No, right? Usually, we use physical progress. Means, suppose certified documents of equal weight. We say 3 documents are completed. And then we divide 5, divide 35. Yes? That's physical, actual progress. So be careful. Most of the time, what's the progress of your project in terms of physical progress as well as nominal progress about project in Grand Design by Japan project, right? So this S curve represents physical progress. How many tons of concrete poured? How many codes in IT you have created, right? Now, this is a very important message. The project industry research in the United States and in Japan both indicate that 80% of project performance is determined the first 20% progress of the project. Do you understand what I'm meaning, right? For instance, schedule performance, time, budget performance, or the project performance, functional performance, right? 80% of the performance is decided very upfront during the 20% progress. That means, suppose you are a very efficient, capable project manager and assign a project that is not quite right, right? You do all your best efforts based on proven progress. The project is over. But since the concept of the project, justification is very weak. You did just desperate works for nothing. And that can happen quite often. And so this upfront planning, it's American English called, in American course, it's called front-end loading. It's a very important message. That's true. And so on many failed projects, the facts are because of very tight budget, project manager saved hours in spending, for quality planning. And then that project faced a series of rework, errors, rework, recycle. And after all, the project costed twice the original value. So that can happen. And so that's a lesson learned about front-end loading. IT industry does not this. Toyota, they do front loading. And the engineering construction company do this. But this is very Japanese. Toyota tries to export this Japan-made practice to their plants in France. It took 3 years before employees understand this, because it's a lot of concurrent one up front, because front-end loading requires all the participating disciplines don't have very clear-cut future, get together and squeeze out best knowledge, best practice, best skills to make the project better. And by applying this front-end loading practice, usually you can save about 10% shorter, 15%, the under the budget, etc., etc. So just remember this. Project performance paradox. Nearly 70% of IT project is set to fail, according to the famous Standard Group Chaos Report 2009. Only 1/3 is successful. Another 1/3 is system is there, but does not meet the function specification that owner wants. But anyway, it's done. So let's use that. Only 1/3 is successful. So this lesson. And over the past years, because of the global recession, training business has shrunken drastically. It's very hard for PM associations, PM consultants, teaching company, training company to survive. And I said front-end loading. And ironically, there are 80% of textbooks of project management deal with the planning stage, but not the conception. After conception, that means the planning itself, is how to make a schedule, how to set budget, etc. But don't tell you how to intrinsically reduce the cost, like value engineering. It's not taught, right? You can read this carefully. So there are scenarios of project management. Worst scenario is an ill-conceived project. 計画が悪いプロジェクト。Done by an uninformed or unprepared project manager. 未熟なプロジェクトマネージャーがやった場合。That's worst. Catastrophe. Average scenario, there are two. The project concept is not good, but the project manager is super, so he recovers. So that's a scenario that quite often we listen to. And another average scenario is that well-conceived project done by an average project manager. Project was completed, but you might have lost chances to gain more. That can happen quite often as well. And the last case, rare happy scenario, a well-conceived project done by a super project manager, it's a gold mine. So this tells you something, right? And you can classify your internal in-company project. Which one is that? I don't ask you to tell me because it entails company secret confidentiality of business. But my observation is that those corporations in Japan who have relentlessly invested money in training method, they are winners now. They are very good. This is not Japanese story, but in US and Europe, number of project managers who complete higher education dedicated to project management, to masters, etc., is increasing. And so I hope Japan will not be left behind. Next one is scope management. Most of the time in Japan, you don't specify the scope of your project. Do you disagree or agree? Right? Yes or no? Scope is what are included and what are not included. So you have a mission. Mission is translated objectives. Now from objective, you can tell what is the end product that you are supposed to build, right? And to build that project, what work items and interim deliverables is products, 中間製品 must be included. That's totality of those tasks and deliverables is called a scope, project scope. So according to theory of project management, you should not do items which are not included in the project scope. And this project scope management is very rigorous on construction project, engineering construction project, defense project as well. But sometimes scope is not very clear in IT software development because nobody knows which is the system that you want to have. By looking at, owner comes in, client comes in, look at the screen, oh, this is not what I need. And then service company, vendors are forced to modify this and that. And you know only the scope after the system is completed. That's the story. That can happen. Yes?
Scope, I've been experienced managing the IT project. And about the scope, it really depends on the scale of the project or the stakeholders. Because if the project was an internal company project, it's not really risky. It's not really, don't have to manage much. So
Can understand.
reasonably, we don't do a scope definition. But for the other hand, the big scale, many companies are involved. We always do this scoping phase at the planning phase. This is very important. I think so. It's very depends on the scale and the who's involved.
Yeah, that's great. You are from the IT or information services industry. Yes? 4, 5, 6. Can you believe that major $2 billion worth of construction project, cost estimate accuracy is plus minus 2%. Can you believe that? $2 billion. That's competitive edge. We bid on a fixed price, say Saudi Aramco's $2 billion natural gas processing plant, turnkey, all responsible, prime contractor. Price difference probably within 3%.
In the private sector,
Yeah, private sector.
not in the public sector.
Public sector. No. But in American federal government, now, what's the prevailing practice criteria for awarding government budget?
For what?
What is the federal U.S. government, federal budget, the budget of allocating federal government's criteria for allocating budget in terms of project management?
Probably crony capitalism,
That's one.
awarding the budget to their friends. Maybe not completely true,
Right.
but there's also cost plus. I think maybe the answer you were looking for was cost plus.
No.
No?
Criteria. FBC, faster, better, cheaper. That's a criteria that government agency uses in allocating budget. Or, of course,
But unfortunately, it always comes out slower, worse, and more expensive. That's why it always over budget. Everything the federal government plans always over budget.
Yeah, that's true of Japan as well. Do you know why Central Japan Airport, Nagoya Chubu Airport, was very successfully completed? Why? Hey? Kansai Airport? That bad experience. Good. That's 50% true. The right answer is that they kicked out all Minister of Construction executives and managed by Toyota executives. And so they did complete value engineering put out all the frills. You know, understand frill? Kazari ne? Kazari. So it's very functional in style as well as access. And say, of course, the Ministry of Land Transport, Land, 国土交通省 is responsible, but they are asked to keep away. I cordially invite you to be in the ceremony. However, we do it our own way, Toyota way, to complete. That's the success secret.
I'm not too sure if we can actually blame the government, all the government projects, but at least in Delhi, the Delhi Metro was on time, on schedule, or probably even within schedule, and it is still a government project. So, well, there are some exceptions.
Yes, Delhi project is Japanese aid agency's most successful project. That's JBEC, JICA project. That's super. Not only Indian government, but Japanese government are very proud of Delhi Metro. That's completely completed on time, within budget, and customer satisfaction as well. And there is another big NTPC power plant. I was completed very beautifully. That's financed by JBEC. You know JBEC, right? Okay. So scope management, a series of work process to analyze and define what are in and what are out. What means what task, what deliverables, right? And scope definition can be done based on the past similar project experience. But what is stressed is that all the projects, almost all, use the famous method called work breakdown structure, WBS. WBS. That's buzzword in universal word. Even kindergarten kids knows in the WBS in US. Probably not kindergarten, grade school boys and girls know WBS. Because PMI is spending a lot of money in providing toolkits for K-12 education of project management. So from this page and on, colored blue gives you a sample of project mission statement as well as project proposal. Actually, I'm asking you to prepare in the blank form this project mission statement as well as project plans in your workshop. This is a case that my students, not students, business executive in the Philippines did in February this year. It's called Paradiso Senior Citizen Risotto, etc. That's condominium for a senior citizen. As you probably know, in the Philippines, family tie is essential value. However, there are a growing number of more mature, don't say mature, independent-minded senior citizen, retired citizen. They don't stick to family ties, and they need some homes where, retired provincial senior citizens get together. And then this is simulated project, but it's very good. So I, once again, gives you time, say 7 minutes, 10 minutes. Please carefully read this and get the idea. What should be in the project mission statement, and what should be the skeleton, skeleton of project proposal. That means project summary statement, such as key success factors, rationale of the project, rationalize the reason why this project is needed. Benefit of the project, proposed project, for the customer, for the investor, and the project execution approaches, as well as essence of project execution plan, and how much cost, more or less, are needed. In this case, 4 million, say, 600,000 US dollars, not peso, right? And after that, I explain briefly. Please, do you all have handouts? Please have a look at this and get the feeling about what you should do before starting the project. Have you ever written this kind of document when you start your project? So this is a good chance. It's not quite difficult. Once you know the trick, it's quite easy. If you need to have a look at the computer, then my computer PC here is available. So please start.
Is there a particular page on your template that can tell us what we should be doing? From the template page?
From
You asked
temp.
us to do several things, and I couldn't remember all the ones you just asked us to.
Oh, that's the very beginning part of my PowerPoint, template PowerPoint. That's file.
Project brief, key success factors, this kind of thing.
Yeah, yes. So you copy what you, yes, right. After that, right, yeah.
Which slides, how much do you want us to do?
This one. You have time tomorrow. So what I'm asking you is peruse,
Not right now.
not now, peruse this sample and get the skeleton of what the mission statement should sound like, right? これアイディアね、こうミッションステートメントとかプロジェクト提案書っていうのはどう書くのかと、それをここでちょっと見てくださいと。で皆さん見終わった頃に簡単に解説やって、実際に明日のワークショップでこれやってもらいますので、皆様方のプロジェクトについて。でワークショップの時は英語で書くの時間かかるとかそういうことではない、日本語で書くのも OK にしますんで、海外でこの何ですかね、記録ユーストリームの後で見る方もいるみたいですけど、なんか喋ってんなと思ったらあれは日本語だとそれは分かるでしょうから、OK と。中国語でもいいです、何語でもいいです。私は学生の時ね、慶応1年休学して南米ほつき歩いてたんで、スペイン語はいまだに頭の中があって、アメリカ行くとスペイン語出てきますね。あとはインドネシアに5年いたからインドネシア語、マレー語とか、フランス語はほんのちょびっとだけで、汽車乗る TGB へ乗るとか、それでレストラン行くとか、そういうしか。分かんない単語とかコンセプトあったら聞いてください。 rational is justification. なぜこのプロジェクトが必要なのか。理由。はい。覚えておくと便利ですね。マネジメント用語でラショナルっていうのはしょっちゅう使いますから。はい、それではちょっとだけ説明しますね。ミッションステートメントのところなんですけど、I'm going to explain a little bit about what we see in this section to be the new leader in the development of sustainable retirement havens. Retirement havens means condominium for senior citizens, probably a little bit healthy people for the Philippine standard, in the city of blah blah. Why? We believe that our senior citizens should be given the best environment for continual enjoyment of life, enhancing their sense of self-worth, allowing them to contribute to society. So this is very important keyword, contribute to society. I'm 68, but I'm willing to contribute to the society. That's why I'm here, taking care of my poor, grandkids. That's my contribution. But social contribution, if you can do it, I have to continue to do that. Okay? That's mission. Mission should be something that encourages you to challenge. Okay? Not just business. And so this is more clear, close mission statement. Verde Paradiso, that means Italian. Philippines is a country of Spanish speaking before. So verde means green. Verde Kawasaki, green. Paradiso is paradise. Okay? So this and that. And key success factor of this project, strategic location to healthcare institution. That's very true. Yes, I love to have my hospitals, clinics in my neighborhood. Right? Ease of access to entertainment centers, supermarkets. That's true. Even if it is very peace, you don't like to live in the mountain, in the middle of the mountains. Increasing demand for senior citizen-centric dwellings. More and more, there are needs for, retired professionals who don't want to live with your family members. It's okay to see from time to time, once a week, but better spend my time with the similar senior citizens. And then rationale of the project. That's beautiful reasoning of why this conceptual senior citizen heaven is okay, but from heaven to real heaven, maybe that's senior citizen. Rational current reality reflects on the evolution of Filipino family values, shifting from close family ties to individualism. So that's one fact of Asia. Asia is changing as well. Increased sense of independence, Filipino senior citizen, this and that. For the benefit, right? For the customer, that means those senior citizens who can afford to be occupants of this senior citizen heaven, Verde Paradiso. For the investors, a unique investment opportunity in the sunrise industry. Okay, I tell you what, so you challenge your own theme project of Grand Design by Japan. Please use not only your own value notion, but multi-value notion. What's good for me, what's good for, say, KBS, Grand Design Program, what's good for the end beneficiaries. For instance, Tohoku no Jumin, right? So that's multi-value assessment is important. Project execution approach, we build design engineering for outsourcing. You use a contractor. Market research, outsource. Market research companies, etc. For wonderful concept of, say, real paradiso. I come to Kodama Sensei. Kodama Sensei is artist, and is good at, the creating the concept of the wonderful city, wonderful town, right? That's that. Essence of project execution plan, outsource competencies that are not yet developed internally, outsource non-core business and specialty works. If you're talking about research project as part of the Grand Design by Japan, you say, try to approach professor this and that for this part of the expertise, right? Or they use a database of this and that. This is approximate cost estimates. This was done by construction people, so the estimate should be pretty accurate, plus minus, say, 15% or so. So in Japanese yen, that's about 4 oku yen project. That's a condominium, but with special features, dancing floors, party rooms, the nice restaurants in-house. Okay, that's life cycle. The scope statement. This is a concept of work breakdown structure. It's like codes of library, daibunrui, chubunrui, shobunrui. So this pump station, in this case, is project overall. And pump station has pumps themselves, buildings, shelters, and pipelines to send out gas or the liquid, etc. And pump is divided into design, procurement buying, and erection. Erection means installation. So this is the idea of work breakdown structure. This is Project Amor made by Filipino colleagues. They broke down. I told them to write the marriage project. I said, partner qualification specification should be physical, should be intellectual, etc. And then partner sourcing, where? High school, college, company, or parents, let them meet together. And then partner evaluation, dating, trial, live-in. So this is just fun. Yes? No, up to wedding. Up to wedding. Yes. So this is what you do, this one. Partner qualification, set qualifications, right? And then this breaks down. This is level 1, level 2, level 3. And then this is fun, joking. Yes. Filipinos are people, very joyful people, happy people. And the wedding, that's budget, entourage, invitation, reception, sponsors. That's Catholic countries. So this is one idea. And what about, this is the image of compact city, 駅地下。デパ地下じゃなくて駅の近くっていうんで、駅地下で何でもできる。Right? You have, say, park and ride, car sharing. Do you know park and ride? Americans, of course, know. 郊外から大都市まで公共交通機関で来て、で郊外に自分の車を置いて、あるいはカーシェアリングっていうのは何人かで1台の車乗って来ると。ローカーボンソサエティのティピカルですね。アメリカ人は昔からやってることですよね。In the city center, everything, amenities, public services are there. It's networked by LRT, yes? Low flat floor buses. There are safe walkways, etc., etc. The idea is that to reduce carbon content to the maximum extent. So it's called a compact city. Now, if you break down the compact city program, what kind of WBS do you see? Answer is, this is simplified one, this page. Right? The total program, in this case program, is low carbon society program. That is divided into low carbon transportation project, low carbon lifestyle, low carbon energy system, low carbon waste management. And for instance, what are in the low carbon transportation? LRT, light rail transit, like the one we have in Toyama. And many cities are trying to introduce fast-moving, energy-efficient tram cars. That's LRT. And EV, electric vehicles. Right? And about low-carbon lifestyle, eco-houses, eco-activities, like setsuden, right? Or use of natural energy, like wind, etc. And about the energy side, what included in the renewable energy? Anybody, please? You know everything. Renewable energy. What kind of renewable energy do we have now? Horikoshi-san, for instance? 再生可能エネルギー。Yes. Luis? Solar? That's one. Wind. Yes. Huh? Tidal wave. Yes, tidal wave. That's good. Wind turbine. Geothermal. 地熱. Right? All those exotic renewable energies are there. Huh?
ECAT?
ECAT. Increase the efficiency of, yeah.
Or maybe big, we don't know yet.
Advanced treatment, 3R. What is 3R? Everybody knows? 3Rs. Japanese technology advantage, 3R. Recycle, yes. Reuse, okay. We have two. One more. Reduce, okay. Reduce, reuse, recycle. That's 3R. And our municipalities like Yokohama-shi, Kitakyushu-shi, Tokyo have tremendous amount of know-how about 3R. So that's very good weapon for us to export to the developing countries. For instance, in India, there are 4 major sized eco-smart city development programs going on. 4 Japanese company groups are in charge of that. That includes all of these eco-smart functions as well as smart waste management, 3R, reduce sewage water and recycle it for cooling use, or etc. Right? So part of the scope management is change management. Change is inevitable. So what happens is that you should have a rule to handle changes, right? Because changes have impact on technical parameters, performance itself, project schedule, budget, ripple effects, 波及影響 ripple effects これですね。Okay? So you have usually change log to record whatever changes, who initiated, for what purpose, for safety, enhanced, return. We invest some money, however, return is greater. That's kind of things. So just don't say yes or no. Don't say yes or no. You should be systematic about approving or rejecting changes as a project manager. So next is quality management. Quality management is in project management. You say quality management, but project management quality itself is quality of projects, right? And so if you know that, and you use traditional quality management methods like QC method, it's okay, right? Many of the project industry companies like IT services companies, engineering companies, construction companies carry ISO 9000 series quality management system because it's de facto invented by British. British are very good at inventing some sort of business that requires a lot of money. So before, my English colleague used to talk about how many tons have we poured. Now they said, how many tons of paper we have created. That's typical British. Once by our American, so Saudi clients, Saudi Aramco, we was, why are you using English supervisors, so many English supervisors? Our project manager said, because of communication. Then the client said, oh, too much communication. So that's typical British. So I used to have first American technical writer Texan lady who has degrees of English writing. And she completely reformed my English, right? Very concise, come to point, redundant, don't be redundant. Then she gone, and another lady came to work for me. That's British. That's completely different, right? A really lengthy, wordy document. So there are two types of English. We have to be careful. And these are quality management technology and tools. I don't know even concept of some of them. I introduced 3 typical ones that are useful for project management, but this Part3 analysis is very critical on the infrastructure construction project. That traces down how accident has occurred. That's logical breakdown of causes used by lawyer Dachshell, BP, those people. Design review, this is used quite often, almost unanimously by manufacturing companies. Or, do you know that a previous Prime Minister, Dr. Hatoyama, he majored in research, operations research at Stanford. That's mathematical, use mathematical model for optimization. Is all part of a macroeconomics study, Adaga Sensei? Is OR, no?
Operation science in management.
Operation science management. And industrial engineering is a comprehensive application of operations research. And in the traditional project management, ORIE is the foundation of project management work. But it does not apply to IT project management now. So we use quite often OR and IE, the global engineering construction. Value engineering is the engineering in the pursuit of value for money by trading off functions versus cost ですね。機能を見て外せるところは外してってでお金を縮めるとそういうやり方バリューエンジニアリング。But value engineering is not quite popular among construction companies. Why? Value engineering, you spent a lot of hours in inventing a very good idea. And then once you announce that value engineering, that's copied by everybody else, clients, etc. So usually contractors don't reveal real value engineering know-how to customers. That's my experience as well. There are 3 frequently used QC tools. Pareto's diagram, I said, you see, there are 20% factors that cause problems, right? So as a project manager, if you monitor these critical items, then you are 80% comfortable about the total performance of the project. That's Pareto's diagram. And we also say 20-80 rule, because we look at 20 and be assured that 80% is okay. 80% out of 100% is okay. And fishbone diagram. I think all of you have seen this fishbone diagram, right? That's 要因分析図。この事象は、何が原因で起きたかですね。フィッシュボーン very good. And control diagram, from experience, we determine limit, upper limit, lower limit for certain activities, say, for instance, parts. And then if someone does not meet this, we call it threshold. So this zone is called threshold. And so if some deviates from this control line and then take actions, that's management essence. Okay? To use time very smartly. So project managers sit down and look at, control reports. And then say, oh, this is warning. And experienced engineers can know this project is troublesome by some precursor. Precursor ってね、予兆ですね。カーサって言うでしょ、これ。precursor。これ危ないと。それでアクション取ると。それがコントロールです。That's 10 minutes more, then we break. Project time management, I think all of us, without being told how to do, what to do about time management, you do it intuitively. Because Japanese are very punctual about time. And so without being taught, you are doing time management. But in project, we are dealing with so many tasks and deliverables. This time management should be done systematically. Most of the time, we now use software tools. Like a very cheap one, elementary one is Microsoft project. Industry does not use, engineering and construction industry don't use Microsoft project. That's too simple. We use a more sophisticated one, like Artemis, like Primavera, but most of the time, Microsoft project is very good. So time management, a series of processes to optimize all the project tasks and resources under the concept of time. Time is money, so control under the concept time. How much does this cost, right? How much time time is translated into money. For instance, when I was office manager of Chevron, those days, Union Oil Company of Indonesia, crude oil shipping terminal, it was the beginning of the first oil crisis. So company rushed to complete the crude oil terminal project. And they pushed us contractor. I give you a bonus, $1 million if you are ahead, if you get ahead one day. One day, $1 million, that's a good job, right? A lot of incentive. And then we use Korean subcontractors. They have cash money. And then I distributed the dollar bills to push them to meet the bonus. That's what happened one day. I don't know if it's still valid yet or not. But anyway, incentive. Manage progress, analyze resources. On a complicated project, time is a function of resources, time's efficiency, as well as intrinsic durations, basic time required. So suppose that very experienced person A, for him it takes 5 days, and the person B is less experienced, it takes 7 days, And then project scheduling is a combination of a lot of consideration about who will do it, what is average skill, what is standard time. Standard time is adjusted this way or that way. That's time management. There are 3 basic types of schedule. What we usually do is bar chart. This is a simple one. Most of the time, you draw bar chart intuitively, right? You know basically the sequence of the work, if it is a simple work. And we use network logic diagram for a more sophisticated project. This bar net is in between. This is a computer output of a bar chart, right? So you're familiar with this chart. You write your own project schedule yourself. And a part of the exercise and the workshop is asking you to write this bar chart schedule. This is a basic logic of calculating time in a network schedule. So this is a region here. This is activity code, right? Start is 1.1.1. The next one 1.1.2. And this is the end 1.2, right? And this is the duration, means time of days required in this case. And this is a case the project is started early. And this is the case that activity is completed on an early base. The lower figures are project is started late. And where there are 2 parallel activities under progress after particular one activity, since the time required are different, in this case 5 days, in this case 8 days, the work can be started later than the the nominal sequence of the day. Instead of start day 9, you can start day 11 and then complete the work in day 16. So this is called technical term float. Float is yuyu jikan. This is a logic of calculations. And so this is this is not how many days. Day 1, day 5. That's the way you read this. Start on day 1, and it takes 5 days. So day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, finish day 5. And then next work can start on day 6, right? And since it requires 3 days, 6, 7, 8. Now, as I said, there is diversification of activities. The first one, second one, right? And if you go early, you can start 9, but since the subsequent downstream work can start only on day 17, you have 3 days extra. And so on a complicated project, starting late saves money, so you do that. So this is very simple logic of calculating project time on a network schedule. Right? You do it yourself at home one more time and develop your own schedule. Suppose plan a party in commemoration of the 10th anniversary of marriage. Right? What is buy something, present for my wife, right? Reserve a restaurant, etc., etc. Whatever project use this diagram. Don't do it all straight work. You can do some work parallelly, right? All the complicated project uses this logic, but we put in calendars. For instance, on day, Saturday, Sunday, we don't work. So computer software tell you that you should add 2 more days, calendar days, to complete this one. Okay?
Can you recommend any free, is there any freeware?
Freeware, you can check on the website, free scheduling software, then you hit some.
Is there some simple we can just, for
Yeah,
practice, if anybody
yeah.
knows it?
I used to use some, but I forgot. Usually I don't do the planning work myself. But certainly there are some freeware. It's very handy. I think this computer carries one. Okay, this is a progress curve. Again, the red one is planned curve. And the actual curve is the yellow one. So in this project, ahead of time or behind the time? My question, whether the project is ahead of time or behind the schedule. As of end of June. Right? Apparently, actual work is behind the schedule by, say, 2%, 3%, right? And then you take action to put this progress back along this planned curve or exceed this planned curve. That's control action. Logic is, say, I show the control line. Usually, control line is like this. And variance, it's a difficult word, but ずれ、日本語で言うとずれですね。If there is variance, and that variance exceeds the control lines, trigger control action, initiate control action. Right? That is the essence of management, controls in management science. Okay, I stop here. Questions so far? Yeah. So I know only one country where people don't ask questions, that's Myanmar. People are told not to ask questions to professors. That's English country. They understand English completely. They don't laugh at jokes. But all of them understand what I said. And during the party, they come to me, Tanaka-san, your joke about Queen's Gift is very interesting. Then I asked, why didn't you laugh? Oh, it's our culture. We're not supposed to ask a question to professors or quiet, behave ourselves quiet. So that's their tradition. But they carry the same culture as the Japanese, do a lot of homework so that you can keep track with the progress of the lessons. In India, I have to tell them how to ask a question, because Indian question turn into, statement of your views. Stop there. You're just asking a question. I'm not listening to your views. We have times for you to speak about your views. So culture is different. There are two tips for a spokesperson. One is how to let Japanese speak. The other thing is how to speak how to stop Indians speak, ask a question. So that's, sorry for that. I'm your friend. So we break for 15 minutes, 5:45. So 3:45.